longer face, so I'm gonna thinner face in my circle. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to thin it out a little. And everybody has a chin, so I'm gonna add that just to give some sort of structure to the head. And then I take my eraser, and you can see I can very easily get rid of these extra pencil marks. I can also lighten my pencil marks so that I don't have really heavy marks that I don't want to commit to, because I am going to do some coloring, and I'm going to show you the technique that we use when we use colored pencils, which is really one of the best tools you can use when you're doing a portrait. It just will turn out better. So I'm adding my chin, and now I have my basic, the shape of my head. So then I want to, and I know you've probably seen this if you have drawing books or anything like that, you're going to want to find the center point where your face is. Notice I'm not drawing a really straight line. I'm drawing kind of a line with a little bit of an arc, because your face isn't flat. You're not flat Stanley, you're a person. So I'm going to then go across in the same way where my eyes will be. And my eyes will center how I'm going to put my ears and my nose and of course my mask. So I'm going to start, and I'm looking at Cam, and he has eyes that are right about here, and the line that you've drawn there is the center point of your eyes. And remember, you're drawing an artistic, you're not taking a photograph of Cam, you're taking, doing a drawing. So you want it to look great, and it will look great, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Hi. So we're going to continue, and the great thing about ArtReach is that we always have visitors and things. Can I help you, honey?
Yeah, I'm a senior at Anna Maria College.
And you need me to sign your stuff, right?
Yeah, and
okay.
Talk to you about my availability.
Okay, so you're gonna have to have a seat.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine.
All right, so I've got my eyes in, and I'm gonna lighten them up. And I'm going to erase that center line that goes across through my eyes. And I just want to lighten them up because I don't want to see a lot of my pencil lines. I just want to be able to keep them so that I can use them as a guide, and I can go back and erase them a little bit later if I need to. All right, so then I have my eyes, and my ears are next. So Cam's ears. Cam has very nice.
Are they nice?
Flowing hair. They're beautiful.
I got good hearing, so
very
it must be. They must be all right.
So your eyes. So if you take your fingers, Samantha, can you just show this? If you take your finger and you go to the corner of your eye and you go straight across, you're gonna hit about the top third of your ears. You can see it here on mine. So that's how you can sort of measure yourself. Everyone's ears are basically in the same place. So I'm coming down, and I'm just drawing my ears, and I can just go right over to the other side and do the same thing. And Cam has very nice hair. He's very young, and his hair kind of curves, as you can see. And so I'm going to bring that down. And he has some more moving hair here. And you're not going to see much of Cam's ear because between his hair and his mask, which does go over the ears. And remember, I'm sketching this in, so when I get to my colored pencil part, I can make some changes, and I can get rid of some of all of this extra lead pencil if I don't want it in there. You could also do a portrait that's black and white. That's very popular, and so I've got hair coming here, and then it kind of goes, and then it comes back down. use your eraser. I know we say we don't even have erasers really at ArtReach because we don't, you know, your sketching and everything you do is so wonderful. But when you're doing a portrait, you want to think about that you can give it to the person and that looks like them. So, all right, so I'm going to come back in here and thin out my face a little bit more. Again, you're just in the sketching part. And then we have this mask. You know, normally we would be drawing your nose and your mouth, but we don't really have to do that because we have the mask. So we're just going to hint at it. So, coming this way, and then Cam has a really cool Railers mask. It's going to come up, go over the nose, and it's not going to come to a point. It's going to, and then it covers all the way down his chin because you want to be sure that you keep your mask, over your mouth and your nose at all times. I see a lot of people, when they cough, they pull their mask down, or they sneeze and pull their mask down. That's not
That like defeats the purpose.
Yes, it does. And he's also got some little Railers logos on his mask. Can you guys buy these Railers?
Yeah, they're at the rail shop at the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Center. There's plenty still left.
Wow.
They're a hot commodity, but yeah, I think mine looks good.
I think it looks great. And I think as we head back to school and whatever that's going to be, there might be an occasion where you might want to wear a cool mask. They could have a great, like, wear your coolest mask day or something.
Mask contest?
Mask contest would be good. You would probably win with one of these. So I'm going to draw those shapes on there and then we'll go back in. So, if you don't want Cam to have a Railers mask, you can give him another mask.
That's true. I think they should do like a Halloween contest. Who's got the best mask? I think
awesome.
all the Halloween costumes this year could just be like masks.
I think so.
If we have Halloween. Hopefully.
I sure hope we do. All right, so we're back. So we've got the mask, and there's some little straps that go up, and you can just kind of sketch those in. And then I want to show you some things before we start the colored pencil, but first Cam needs eyebrows. So everybody from ArtReach should know that eyebrows kind of, you can make a person mad, you can make a person, I'm going to add a little line for the eyelids. Eyebrows give you some definition to your face. So we talk about this a lot. Cam looks like a very kind, caring, happy person.
See, I've got him fooled.
These are his eyebrows, but so one of the things you'll notice, and I'm just going to go back to this extra page I had. So you guys have all seen these little emojis, my friends at home. So if I do this, and I have the eyes, and I have my eyebrows like this, he's happy. But if I do my eyebrows, even if I keep the smile face, he's kind of mad.
Ooh.
So eyebrows really do make the difference in your drawing. Okay, so now I've got my pencil sketched in. I'm going to go back with my eraser, and I'm going to lighten up some of these lines. I am not doing a black and white portrait, but you certainly can if you want to. But I want to show you some techniques with your colored pencils and your crayons. I noticed yesterday, if you were with us, and I think some of you probably were, Mr. Myers is an artist, and he drew using crayons. And I always feel like crayons get a bad rap because older kids think they're for the little kids, and they're not. If you use them correctly, as Mr. Myers did, with different types of pressure and the circular motion, you are going to be able to draw and color anything at all. Same with the colored pencils. You need to keep them sharp, but you can also, as Mr. Myers talked about yesterday, kind of peel the paper back and make them have a broad, flat look to them. So I want to show you a couple things. First of all, everyone always asks in the studio for skin color. Well, we're going to do a special workshop with John Vo. Many of you have worked with him about creating all different skin colors, not just for people, but for all kinds of things. Skin color is relative. You could be the same fantabulous person if your skin was purple. So it's not the best thing, but for our purposes, we're going to look at, Cam has kind of light skin, and there's a couple ways to do it. We don't actually have a skin tone here, but if I take my colored pencils and I start with a very light pink, I can, and Samantha, you're going to want to get close on this. I can use a very light touch here on my, and I'm using the circular motion. Those of you who have done any of this colored pencil coloring here at the studio know that the circular motion with light pressure allows the wax in the colored pencil to build up and let you shade. If you just kind of go like that, it's not going to work out. You won't have the ability to really create some subtle shading. But if you use a circular motion, you are able to shade. And then what you can do is take another color, and you'll notice if I'm starting here, and Samantha, you guys can see this, if I push harder over here where my mask, or Cam's mask, is hitting his face, as long as I just push a little bit harder, keep my circular motion, the color will get darker, and this will work with any color, and you'll start to get some shadowing. I can take yellow, because yellow and pink will make a peachy color, and I think we've decided that Cam has
You calling me peachy?
peachy colored skin, very peachy, kind, caring, likes hockey, peachy. All right, so you can go over that, and you'll see that the color will begin to change. I have very sharp colored pencils here. So it allows me to give a light touch, but even if I use the side of them where they're kind of broad, that will work as well. The other thing that works great, I can go back over it with a little of my bright orange. This is a very bright orange. Wouldn't you say so? I can go back over it, and you can see that now I'm starting to create what we would call a skin type color, just by using these three. So to keep my picture an actual picture, meaning that I don't want everything to just fall into this big kind of shading, and you guys can continue your own shading here. I can take another, this is a brownish color, and I can go around, actually I'm going to use blue because Cam's mask is blue. I can take a very pointed pencil, and I can, again, light pressure on a colored pencil will keep that wax working for you. And I can begin to make a line here going over the line that I made. I can firm it up, or I can keep it kind of sketchy. You want to firm it up a little. And then I am going to follow my sketch line. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of a little bit more of that pencil line. But I just want to show you the difference here. So these are various, so we've shaded for the solid skin color, but we're using this blue to create our mask. And since it's a mask, I don't have to worry if the line is perfect, because it's a cloth mask that he's wearing, and the cloth mask wouldn't be that tight on you. It would probably squeeze your face too much. So let me share with you, just a little bit of the eraser will allow you to still see the line, make your mask mark, and again, this is all colored pencil. And then I'm going to again use the circular motion with a heavier pressure. The other thing I'm going to do, so you can see, I can make it dark with a heavier pressure, or my very favorite way of using these two supplies, which everybody starts school with. So this is a good technique to learn as your school projects get started and you have to create new things. And I'm going to grab a blue crayon, and you usually get a couple of different blues in there, so any one that you like will work perfectly. Crayon uses the same technique. Don't do that, because you'll get streaks, as Mr. Myers talked about yesterday. You really want the color of the crayon, and again, it's waxed just like the colored pencil, so they work beautifully together. I'm going to go right over that colored pencil with pressure on my crayon, and I'm going to keep going here. And you can see that the heavier or more pressure that I put on it, the darker it will get in some of my corners and where there should be shading. And I can continue to go back and forth between, I'm just going to do some here and then I'll show you. If I go back again with my colored pencil, it's going to make it even darker, and I'm going to start to fill in. You can see where I make the circular motions, there's still white there from the crayon, but as I go back with my colored pencil, again, wax on wax will fill in all of that area, and you're getting a really nice texture here that works beautiful for a hand-drawn portrait. And you can see as I go over it, it just darkens the color and darkens the color, and the longer that I color it, the more pressure that I put, the smoother it will look. And the combination, you can do all colored pencil, you can do all crayons, but the combination of both really makes it work nicely. And you can see as it busts the skin color. It's almost time for the music, you guys. You can see that it will begin to more start to look like a face. So I'm going to take this brown that I have, and then we'll get to the music part. So your eyes are like a easily bluish kind of with your blonde hair. So I'm going to not use blue. I'm going to use just the brown to get it in there, because you're going to need the circle of that eye. And I know if you've been to the studio, you know we've done some of those eye of the dragon, eye of the tiger. Seems to be a fascination with eyes. So you're gonna again draw and we'll show you how to do a highlight at the end. But so we're gonna do, you can see this eye, I'm gonna do the other eye the same way. And because his eyes are blue, I would go back to this dark blue I have, but very, very light around the circles. And then I'm going to bring in that light blue too. And even though you're doing the dark first and you may not think you're going to see it, you will see it as it comes together. And you know the center of your eye, the pupil, is always black. But we'll do that last because we want to add a highlight. So I have a very light blue here. And I'm just going to go over that because it will give the eye, you don't want the eye to have the same color as the mask. So, so you have different things to look at, but you can see how my eye is coming together. Again, don't go and be like, Miss Darcy, I did the pupil first. If you did the pupil first, that's fine, but if you cannot do it first, that's even better, because then it will allow us to do the highlight of white, which most eyes have a reflective highlight. If we do the black first, it's harder to add that, not impossible, but definitely a little harder. So, so you can see where I'm going with this. I want to tell you that Cam's hair is blonde, and it's a little darker blonde as it gets closer to his scalp. So even though you'd be tempted to say, well, I'm just going to use yellow, don't. I want you to use, only so that you get the texture and everything, don't do it. I want you to take like one of your crayon oranges, any one that you like, and try this one's a little lighter. And I want you to start where Cam's hair is meeting his scalp.
Really, the orange?
The orangey color. Trust me, it's gonna look good.
Trust me, I
Because
trust you.
it's a little, I don't want to use brown because we've already used a little brown, but I want to have some different colors in here. Notice I'm keeping my pencil color because I erased some around the face to keep it lighter, but I think here, because Cam's hair is also kind of wispy, can you guys show his great hair and how wispy it is? And yeah, that way, I think that, and of course you can decide this on your own, but I think that the pencil gives you that wispiness, and instead of using a brown, you've got the lead, the gray from the lead. So I'm just doing some of this close here, and then I'm going to go back with my yellow and go back in, and again using that circular motion, I'm going to go over the parts of the hair that I didn't color, and I'm going to go in and start with the pressure of the yellow, and that will give Cam the blondish hair color with some variation in there. If you decide you want to do brown, it's up to you. If you decide that you think Cam should have orange hair, purple orange like the Railers, or purple hair, go ahead. You'll send those in, and I'm sure we will get posted. I'm working on an art show, so you definitely want to send everything in, and you know, maybe you're going to give him a different look than a look that he didn't know he could carry.
I need a different one.
He needs a different
it's not
look.
Working.
It's not working.
Is the blonde the hardest to draw? Like, I feel like that's one of the harder ones to...
Well, yes, because everybody just uses yellow,
right.
And then you look like...
A couple different elements that go into it, huh?
Yeah, because blonde hair isn't you know, blonde.
Yeah.
The hardest color is probably my color, white, right? Most people just don't color it when we do the Portraits of Miss Darcy, but this is, they're going to do a great job. So you guys send them in for sure. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to do, even though it's Hockey Week, we're going to keep some of the same elements today as we always do with Art with Music. I'm going to continue to draw this and work on mine, and you know I'm always the last person finished, so you work at your own speed. You don't have to keep up with me. You can watch me draw, Samantha, and Paul will keep taping it. We're going to start to play the music so that we can have some of our older people enjoy the music. Are you guys ready back there for some art with the music?
Now we're talking.
Now, this is great, and we have a lot of high school kids and adults log in for art and music together.
Wow.
It's very nice. So I'm going to continue to keep coloring.
You guys ready to bring the energy over there, or what? All
You
right,
have to keep
I'm
it
waiting.
Yeah. You guys ready?
Yes.
Go ahead. You can film me and you can shoot up to them. And I'm just going to keep working on their face. And then we'll stop and see where everybody is. If anyone asks a question for help, and then we will carry on. All right. I'm anxious to see how these look. We have some good portrait artists in the studio and throughout the city. So. We do this every Tuesday.
I love that song. I have to get that on my Spotify. That's not like a Toy Story song. Is that? Isn't that?
Yeah, we have a group that watches. They're a group of people with special needs.
Okay.
So sometimes they request things, and they draw at home. They paint it and we send them home with art because they can't come. They can't come back yet. But they really, it's really wonderful for them. So we've had a lot of people log on. It's great. And then the gentlemen, the young gentlemen, are in a Ghanaian band that play Ghanaian music, which is, they've come and played music before. So, and they're in high school. So it's a nice opportunity for them to be a part of the musical community. I'm not really allowed to pay them, but they get to go to lunch.
That's awesome.
Yes, a lot of them actually. We've got some out today. They were out and stuff. So, Mr. Gregg, I'm just going to talk to the kids for a couple minutes so they can finish out, so I don't miss the time, and then we can finish out with more music. Okay, so Samantha, is anyone posting any questions there?
No.
Okay, so no one has any questions online. That's fine. There's a couple things that I want to that I also want to share with you. So I'm doing the nose, and your nose has, you know, we tend to draw noses. I'll go back to my scratch paper where we have a face and we're trying to do a realistic nose. We do something like that. Here, we are not going to see the bottom part of Cam's nose because it's covered. So we just have these two lines. And in order for it not to look like a, I don't know, like a luge, which I think is one of those sled things that you go down, we want to be sure that that one side has a full line and the other has just a partial, like an indication of a line. So I'm taking, and I'm lining that up right outside of where my eyebrow is. So you can see here. And I'm going to use the pink. I am going to use a little bit of brown in a part of that. And then of course, because the way shading is, there would be shading on both sides. As you can see, I've started some here. And the top of the nose is going to be a bit lighter. So I would, I'm going to start with the pink. And a very light pressure, very light touch. And that way, you know, if you are, we're always talking about where the sun comes from. So if you have a light source, usually on a portrait, the light source is coming from the top of the head, kind of right into the forehead. So you do have some light that covers the entire front of the face. So I'm taking a very light touch with that pink, which is my base color. If your base color isn't pink, that's fine. And I'm going to just start it there, and then I'm going to come in with that orange that we had to kind of create this skin tone. And I'm going to go back over just very lightly on the one side. I've done some shading here. I can do a little more if I need it, but on this side, I want to come over with that orange, and I can even do some brown if I need to, but very light. I'm not putting really any pressure on here. I just need enough so that we see the nose. The other thing I wanted to show you is that we use the black. I'm tempted, you have a purple and a black, they kind of look the same from the lead. Definitely use the black. And I think that when so you want to do the pupil, but you want to have a highlight. So let me just show you how to do that. If I look at, oh, I'm sorry, honey. If I look at Cam's face, he has a highlight in his pupils, because that's where the sparkle comes from. So you want to take that black and you want to go around where the pupil area is, and you can see this. And then I want to take, and I'm just kind of circling that. Even if I have a little blue in there, it's fine. I want to take a little, almost like a little quarter of a circle, and I want to draw it. Can they see that, Samantha? Up close, it's kind of small, but you can see that. And then I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm going to go back and go into the front part. I am not coloring in that white area. I am leaving it very thin, like a sliver. Almost looks like one of those moons, the crescent moon. I'm going back over here, and this is my, and that is how I'm dealing with the pupil of my eye. I'm going to take the dark blue again. I can even use the purple, I suppose, and go back underneath. So on one side, on the opposite side where I have that sliver, I'm going to go back with more pressure and darken it up. Your eye has a natural array pattern, which is the streaks of, which gives you the color in your eye. And there's white in there, so there is a little shadowing, so I'm just going back under here to give it a little shadowing. I'm going to use my brown pencil and go back very lightly in the whites of the eyes. They are white. You can leave them white. You're going to need a little something in there so they don't look, so he doesn't look scared. You want to go over the eyelid with that. Same here. And there's always that part in your eye, if you ever wake up in the morning and you have a little sand in the corner of your eye, parents might tell you the Sandman came. You want to be sure that there's a little shadowing in there. Not a big chunk of sand, but just a little bit of shadowing. And that is how you would finish out your eye. Everybody has eyelashes, so young children, they always say girls have longer eyelashes. They don't really. Young children do. And so for young children, you can come in. I would always do the eyelashes in black. Even if you have very light eyelashes, you're not even going to really see these, but we'll just give a little bit more dimension to your eye. And Samantha, if you can see, they're really, really tiny, but it's enough to show that you have eyelashes. Men do have shorter eyelashes than women, but of course you can give Cam, I don't know, Cam, what do you think? Long eyelashes?
Maybe medium size. I know Paul Harris has some long ones. He's got really long ones, yeah.
So you just want to add those in there. Same with your eyebrow and your hair. You can take, again, we've been using those circular motions, but now we're going to go back in and unless you go to the salon and your eyebrows are painted on, you do have some hairs in your eyebrow. And same here. You want to go into your hair and your hair. You don't have to just, I'm using the brown, but you can also use that yellow and smooth it out. So what I want you guys to do, we're about ready for the music again, you guys. I think we're going to play it out. What I want you to do is to finish drawing these, and then I want you to, I'm going to give you one last look at Cam, so you get a really good look, and I'll post a picture of you. So I want you to send these in, not only for Railers Hockey Week, but because we're working on an art show that incorporates Railers Hockey Week and Summer Together and all of that. I really do want you to send in whatever you draw. There's no way to mess this up. You can see I still have plenty of drawing to go. I'm the slowest drawer we have at ArtReach. So I want you to definitely draw it, definitely send it in. You can send it to the Railers Facebook page. You can send it to the ArtReach Facebook page, and I will get it to them. You can just your parents can send it to me on email or Instagram. But definitely finish this. So I also want to tell you that we still have 3 more days of art and hockey fun. So tomorrow we are going to be at Elm Park at 6 o'clock, and Mrs. Ramey, who's the president of the Railers, the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, is going to be reading some books to us. I have some books to read, and we have books to give away, and we have a little coloring project that we're going to do in the park for everybody to join in. On Thursday, Mr. Myers is going to be doing a video, right, of the incredible masks. He's an incredible artist that he made. They're really cool. I was able to see some a couple weeks ago. You don't want to miss it. We're also going to follow that with the science of hockey. And then on Friday is the tie-dye day. So, and I don't want you, remember, as you know, if you picked up a kit, you have what you need. We're going to do, we have tie-dye demonstration to post. Do not go tell your parents, Miss Darcy said, I need to get dye and a shirt and all of that. You can pick up a shirt any day this week at 1 o'clock at ArtReach or at the park. at 6 o'clock. I'll be at Elm Park with the shirts. You do not need fancy dye. You can tie dye. I'm going to show you how to tie dye with food coloring, water from a puddle. There's a million ways to tie dye. You do not need rubber bands. You do not need buckets. It's Miss Darcy's Girl Scout, no mess tie dye. And I promise you, moms, no mess with the tie dye. So definitely pick up a shirt and check it out. It'll be really cool. And the shirts that they have, that they've given us, have the logo on it, and they're really cool. So definitely check them out. And we're going to play the music so you can listen to music, finish your drawing, and we will hopefully see you tomorrow. And thank you to my Boys and Girls Club friends for tuning in. Have an awesome afternoon, and send in your drawings. Peace. Okay, music guys.